Welcome to another video on how to make sauerkraut. This time I'm using 2 heads of cabbage. I will go ahead and clean out my cabbage. I usually cleaning out, remove 2 or a few leaves that I'm going to use to cover the sauerkraut when it's ready in the jar. But here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and I will cut the cabbage. Usually I would use a knife, but this day I decided to use one of my gadgets that I'm kind of trying out to see how it does, how I like it. So it has one of the tools that is able to help me shred the cabbage. So I went ahead and used it this day. I don't know. I feel like it still took me a good amount of time, almost the same amount of time that it would take me if I was cutting the cabbage with a knife. So, but I started doing it out. I had to finish it. So that's what I did today. That's what you see me doing here, is using it. So once shredding is done, I pour it all in a bowl. It's time to go ahead and put the salt in it. Now for my sauerkraut, I use Himalayan pink salt. Pink Himalayan salt is what I use. I usually measure 1 tablespoon per head of cabbage. As you see today, I'm using 2 heads of cabbage. So I will be doing 2 tablespoons. Again, for sauerkraut, I do not necessarily recommend this for somebody with hypertension history or is on hypertension medication, because it does have a lot of salt, which is sodium, which you shouldn't be having. I have been talking to one of my subscribers about making sauerkraut without salt. I think the salt is necessary because you need the salt to help you keep down the bad bacteria so that the good bacteria that you're looking for can actually grow. So what we do after we put the salt is you mix and you mash. You mix and mash until you are able to see some liquid coming out of it. Once it's ready, you can tell because you see a lot of liquid when you squeeze on it. That's the brine. It's a salty liquid that's in it now. So when I make my sauerkraut, I do not add any liquid. If you don't have enough, you can add filtered water, people have said, into the jar when you pack it. But I don't, there's no need for it because the salt will help you get a lot of the liquid out of it. So now it's time to pack them in the jar. I have a few, I think I have 4 small jars that I used to pack it in this video. I'm actually also thinking about getting a mason jar that's slightly bigger so that I don't have to have 4 little ones. But even the little ones have their advantage because then when you open it to use it, you're only using one at a time. So once you pack them in the jar, you go ahead and stuff them and pack them down. So then I bought new glass weights. These are supposed to be 3 inches wide and they're supposed to fit this mason jar. But for some reason, I was having problem with the fit with the jar. Only one of them would fit my jar. So I went ahead and used the one. And again, I did not expect this to be happening. I already have my sauerkraut ready to go. So it wasn't like I could wait to go get, Anyway, so I went ahead and tried something that I had seen other people use, which was put a filtered water into a Ziploc bag, into a small bag that you can close up. A sandwich bag is what I used. And you're going to see it here. You have to close it up and then put it in. Anyway, with the weight, you put the weight right on the vegetable in the glass like you see me doing and push it all the way down so that it weighs down your vegetable. You clean it off completely, clean off around the glass so that when you close it, it is tight. The lid is tight. I also have a fermentation lid. I only found 2 today, so I used 2. They are good because they have, I believe they have a one-way valve that wouldn't let air come in, but it can go out. So it can let out the gas that's coming once the fermentation starts, but nothing comes in. The problem with fermentation is you have to try to avoid too much oxygen in the jar. That's how you grow bad bacteria. That's how you grow, bad yeast and stuff that you don't need. So now when I did the first jar, I think I forgot to put in the leaf that I had put out. Usually you would take this leaf and put it after you pack the sauerkraut, the vegetable, into the mason jar. Then you place the leaf on top of it and then weigh it down with whatever you decide to use. If the glass weight works, then that's what you're going to use. If it doesn't work, then you can do the filtered water in a bag thing. I double bag the filtered water bag thing because again, I didn't want the water actually getting into it, but if it got in, again, it's filtered, so it's no problem. The problem with using any kind of water is the regular water you have from your kitchen tap has chlorine in it, that they use to treat it, and you don't want that water to get into your fermentation jar because it will slow down the fermentation process. Now, this is my first time using this baggy thingy with water, so I have no clue how much of the water that I actually need. This is when I decided to double bag it just to be sure. But I think it's an alternative that might work. I have no clue. You're gonna have to come back to the next video that I upload that will tell us the result of all this today. So I'm making this, and you will be following live with me monitoring it. So for the next video, I will be monitoring to see on a daily basis and recording on a daily basis to see how everything is doing. And at the end, we'll see what comes out. Whether we get sauerkraut or, we'll see. Now, it looks like that bottle was overfilled. So once I put the bag with water in it and try to close it, it was flowing over. So that's what you see me wiping out. Again, I've never used this bag before, but this is what I have today. I don't know what happened with my glass weight, why it didn't fit properly. I have a different one, but I have moved it and I don't know where it is right now. So I went ahead and used this one, and this is what I got. Now, this particular last jar, the glass weight never fit them anyway. So I usually use this small thing that I have in my kitchen. I put it in and I use the glass to push it down to weigh down the vegetable. And I've used it at least 3 times and it's worked well the whole time. I'm going to let these vegetables sit out for at least a week. I think a week, but I will be checking on it every day. Now, what I forgot to say here is after you are all done with this and you need to put it somewhere in the kitchen, warm, not too warm, dark will be also good. You put it into a container because, like you can see, some of my jars are overfilled. But once the gas bubbles start to form and come up, you will get a leak. You will get a leak from the jar. So if you leave this sitting on your desk, on your table, on your countertop without anything, you're gonna have a mess to wipe off. So I recommend that you use a plate, something to put it in, so that when you come in the next day or when you come to check it, the plate will be collecting any excess liquid. So this is it. I'm ready to let it sit. Now I'm setting the date. Now those lids, they have a date where you can set the date that you got it started. In case you forget, you don't want to forget when you got it started before you start growing something else other than probiotics. Or then I have to come back every morning and bop them. Open it a little bit and let out the gas, because the gas will start forming right in here, and usually once it starts you can see the bubbles coming up. You have to make sure that it's not full of gas and blows up in your face. So have to come back every morning to bop them. These ones with this cover do not need to be bopped because it should take care of it. And they also have a date thing where I can put the day that I got them started so that I don't forget how long they've been fermenting. Sauerkraut. That's it. Thanks for watching.